to eat.
Stability versus surviving.
Baby.
How did you... What's that concept?
How did I come up with that?
Yes.
It was after that conversation that we had about your work.
Okay.
It had something to do of whether you go to school and you have a career that does not pay you good at all, but because you love it so much, you rather...
Yeah, I did a piece on that.
Oh, you did?
Months ago, but that whole concept of
or choose somewhere you don't like, but you're making the bucks for survival.
Right. It sounded interesting to me the way you had worded it, because a lot of people, and I'm being one of those people, could argue that in most cases the two are the same.
How so?
Oh shit, I'm gonna...
They don't go hand by hand always.
No.
Look, for example, like I went for school for travel and airlines.
Sure.
Okay? My goal was to become a flight attendant. Mm-hmm. For me to get to that point, my somewhat sacrifice, I'll say it, and it's not really a sacrifice because I was still living with my parents, right? And I just got out of
but you were
whatever.
Still, roughing your way out through school.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I was at McDonald's, so the $6 fucking... Anyways, point being is, I loved working at the airport so much, and, like, that wasn't really, like, survival. Like, if I wanted to survive to pay my bills out of $11 an hour, can you imagine? Yeah, no. That was, like, my career, we'll say stability for the heck of it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because I wanted that career so badly. So I did maybe 2 years of passenger agent, which required me of checking in people and, get to know the whole airline concept and whatnot. And then turns out that when I tried to become a flight attendant with Japan Airlines, because, they had flights to Mexico, and they needed a Spanish speaker one. Right. And I was the one who did the announcements at the airplane whenever people got off and whenever people got on. Right. So it was pretty cool.
Hello, my name is Brenda.
No, we don't say your name.
The cheese and crackers are to the right, and the booze and alcohol is to your left.
Yeah, no.
Make sure you don't get too fucked up. Otherwise, we're gonna have to kick you off the plane, sir.
Actually,
I'm talking to you, Mr. Tubby, in the front row.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? No. No, but I did have very interesting stuff like that happened. No. People coming out so drunk. How about guys coming out with a boner? Listen to this. There had this little kid apparently came down with a boner. Like I had to translate to a doctor for this guy. Like he was like 14. Come on, he was.
Oh God.
Like, and you know what this kid's excuse was? All he said is, well, my uncle was watching it beside me, so obviously I'm watching it over. Like, he's sitting beside the uncle, and, I guess the uncle was pretending he was playing on the phone or some bullshit. So now somehow this little kid came down with a fucking boner. Can you imagine how fucking embarrassing? We have a case here, Brenda, we need you to translate. I'm like, okay, what
How do you say el bonero?
Like, this kid was like...
El bonero.
He's like, it's really not my fault. I was like, I don't care. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know. Like, but I really did want to see it and laugh at it. But
you asshole.
I just wanted to be like, wow, the fuck, little kid. But, the doctor was like, tell him we have to touch and this and that. And, like, man, that guy, the poor kid. Anyways, so it turned out that because I'm midget as fuck, I'm 4'11", and there's a height requirement for flight attendant, I could not get the job. I opted out for finding a job that will help me survive and pay my student loan and pay my bills.
Yeah, but that was, in a way, that was kind of your own fault. You totally could have pursued other branches of that.
No, I know, but that's my point, that you choose either what you love and get paid shit. What if I were to go back to the airport right now? Let me ask you, how would we survive?
I feel like if you, and again, this is all in my piece that I did a few months ago. I feel like if you chase the dream before the dollar will come later anyways.
Really?
Yes. Point is this.
It's unargumentable. When your husband has a point, you know, you just sit there and just say yes.
Stability versus survival. See, I was one of the many who saw it as both as the same thing. Because one might argue that to be stable, to have a steady financial income, regardless of whether or not you like your labor or your job. You know, as long as you're making it by, you know, covering your daily bills, your daily, you know, requirements, your daily, covering your obligations. Some might argue that that's survival because you're just using it as a means to get by. But on the other hand, the minute I saw that concept, I had to sit back and think about it for a little bit. Because one could argue that survival could also be applied to surviving the avoidance of the trend that's going on. Like going your entire life chasing what you want to do and being able to survive, being able to withstand the urge to jump in the same current as everybody else, which would really be the easy way out.
Of just going to the same place, same
Just
job.
having the same routine, falling into the same rut as everybody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like for me, it would be very easy for me to just go to Alberta right now, start paving again, and start making a shitload of money, and then but A, I hate the city, and B, I hate, you know, I don't like the concept of not seeing much of anybody for the sake of me making a shitload of money, you know. Like
but that's not considered survival, is it?
It is survival.
Oh, why? Because it's not.
It's an ambitious survival, but it's survival because you're just pocketing all this money that you're just basically gonna end up throwing into your house or your car or all this stuff that you need anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I almost want to go do it now. Shit.